Hello and welcome to Kuddick Farms. We're back with another episode of Riverbend Springs on FS25. We have been letting the contracts go just a little bit here off camera. We wanted to make sure we could jump into some new stuff today. However, this combine needed to be emptied and it looks like I'm going to have a full cart, so it felt like an appropriate time to fire up the episode here. We are still unfortunately dealing with some random flickering and such. I was really hoping we'd see a patch come out from Giants by now for FS25. Where are we? We're already on the 19th here, and unfortunately we've not had any patches yet, so that is a thing. We will continue to wait impatiently for that to come out. Now I have to get down here to the oil mill with this load, so we are going to create a job. We're going to deliver to the oil mill, and I'm going to move my loading position to somewhere right up here, and we're going to go ahead and just tell this guy to get going, and hopefully he's going to figure this out. We've had fairly good luck with the AI driver and the, we'll call it a grain wagon here, but sometimes he gets a little bit confused. We'll see how it goes. We do have a few more passes here, and it looks like we skipped a little bit of a row where we started off the contract here, so we'll have to go back and clean that up at some point. I'm not too worried about it. What I want to do, though, is jump up here to the farm. We finished up our tillage a little bit ago, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to grab this drill and run out here. We're going to put some grass in this big field that we tilled up over on the other side of the road here, and that's going to be where we start our baling empire. Oh my goodness, I cut you off, sir. You had the right of way and everything. My bad. That's all right. We'll get through here. Thankfully, his insurance will probably cover that. All right, let's dive right into this. Now, this is a pretty small drill, which means that this job is probably going to take a while because he's going to do a lot of backing up and stuff. I think we're going to just let the worker do his thing, though. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have any skip lines. And I do appreciate, somebody mentioned that if I do the skip lines, then I can come back in, set this to 0, and tell the worker to go back, and he will figure out how to just do the areas that we hadn't skipped. I haven't played with that yet, but we're going to give it a try at a later date. I think I'm going to just let this guy go and do his thing as a normal worker right now. Mostly because I don't want to monkey with it. I want him to just get his job done, and we'll forget about it. Now, all of this grass is going to help us out a lot, though, because it's going to let me get some silage bales and stuff going. So we really need to get this planted today before we move the time forward here. I think planting all this grass is the last big job that we need to do before we can advance the time. So I'm going to let him do his thing. We're going to check in on our tractor here, who has made its way just about up to the elevator to drop this load of canola, which should advance our harvesting contract percentage quite significantly. I'm mostly curious, though, to see where we're at from a delivery percentage. And we have verified that we're getting a little bit of excess when we do these contracts. Not a lot, but enough to make it worth our while. Our combine is almost full here, so I just want to get this delivered. And then I'm wondering if we should check out if there's any additional harvest contracts up for grabs. I don't want to get distracted and miss our delivery percentage. We're 57% transported for this field. Perfect. Bringing us up to an 81% total completion. So while this guy gets back up there, we've got some interesting baling contracts here. Let me look at this one. This is at field 60, which is not that far from where we're harvesting now, I don't think. We're going to have to deliver it all the way over to the other side of the map, but I think we're going to grab this one in addition to the one that we've already got, just for the fun of it. In the meantime, this guy's going to work his way back out to the field for us and hopefully not have any problems. He's doing some weird swervy driving here. That's all right. We'll trust him. He's got this under control. Checking in on the combine here. We're getting onto the angled rows, but we still have a little bit of capacity left. Hopefully we can make it to the end row before we fill up here, and we'll see how this goes. We're at 97%. Oh my goodness, that flickering. Probably get to 98%, maybe? No, not quite. All right, well, either way, we made it to the end row, which is great. So now as we turn around, that should leave me with my auger out on the outside. Perfect. We're going to be able to rush up here and unload this guy as soon as our tractor gets back up to the field here. Meanwhile, just eyeballing the planting progress. We're making good progress, actually. All right, this job isn't going to take nearly as long as I thought it was. Good deal. Just gonna watch him turn around. I'm kind of curious how much of a hassle. Obviously skip rows would probably be more efficient here, but he's doing it. He's pulling it off, and it's a little bit of backing up. This is costing me what, 8 seconds or so there on each turnaround. It's not too bad. We'll get through it. That's what I thought. This worker is struggling to get up to the field because we were too close to that little car, a little bit of traffic there. That's okay. We will just grab this guy up manually and run up here. There's a handy little driveway right here that we can try to sneak up on and take this all the way up to our field. Now I am manually running my controls today. The steering wheel setup and everything over there is in the process of being reworked. My wife bought some new furniture in our living room, and that means that there's a new piece of furniture that's going to help me get my office organized a little bit better here. So I've been slowly shuffling things around over the weekend, trying to make room for this new bookshelf where I'm going to be able to set up and display a lot of my role-playing books and models. I've been doing a lot of the 3D printing and stuff as a hobby on the sides in the evenings, and starting to get quite a collection of models and terrain and stuff 3D printed. So soon I need to start painting all of that stuff up. However, it looks like, wow, we're already full here on another load of canola, so let's go ahead and see if we can just run this right up to the elevator again and keep this contract moving. The workers should be able to finish off the rest of this field in our absence, and we'll be able to get moved over to our next contract field. And another round of grain getting hauled into our, call it the elevator, but I believe this is actually some kind of a manufacturing plant, oil manufacturing, so they must be making canola oil out of the canola, which is pretty cool. We're probably going to hit 100% completion on this contract, dumping this bit in. We are 100% transported for Field 50, and I just made $1,000. Awesome. Well, every little bit helps. However, I wish I had stopped dumping that before I did that, because the price for canola is actually quite abysmal right now. So I'm gonna, whoa, man, it's a good thing that this isn't real. Our insurance claims would be through the roof, and I'd shut my farm down with the way I drive around this map. However, as I was gonna say, is I'd like to hang on to any of the excess canola and sell it when the price is high in the middle of the winter here. So I need to do just a little bit better a job of keeping an eye on that as we continue to move forward. But what I'm going to do is run back up to our field here. We're going to get the last of the canola off of field. I don't even know what field it is, 50. Yeah, we're doing field 50 up there in the right-hand corner. We'll get the rest of this canola out of the harvester and off of that field, and then we will relocate our combine over to field 60 and get started there. And we'll probably use any excess canola that I've got off of field 50 to get a head start on turning in the field 60 contract. And then at the very end of all of these contracts, I'll take what's left back up to my bin. Should do fairly well for us. I'm hoping to have like maybe a half trailer full or so to turn in up there, but we'll see. I did just dump almost a quarter of a trailer in to the sell point just now. It happens. We'll pay a better attention this time. It looks like the combine finished harvesting that corner. I'm gonna just drive this tractor right over here to the back corner of the field here, because what we're gonna do is jump over here, grab our combine, and harvest that last swath of canola that we've got over there. And I was thinking, since we're going to be grabbing that MacDon swather for our grass cutting, we can just get the header for that for cutting our canola as well. And we will get to try out all the different feature functionality of that particular device. So having some canola as well as some grass is going to work out well for us. We'll just pretend that we're not in the US, that we're actually up in Canada somewhere, and contract is finished. It's not going to let me finish harvesting this. In the past, it would let you finish harvesting, and yeah, that's weird. Okay, so don't turn in the grain ahead of time, because then the contract completes and you can't finish harvesting the grain. This is really unfortunate. I was hoping to get that last swath. Well, there you go. Another a bummer for me with that whole turn in of our grain to the elevator. We've got to do a better job of paying attention to all of this stuff in the future. It is what it is, though. Well, I'm upset. We're going to drive right over the crops and protest. All right, let me see if we can get this header loaded up on the trailer now. Shouldn't be too hard, especially since it kind of auto teleports if you get it close enough. There it is. And we'll hook up to our trailer and take this guy right on over to field 60 here, which I believe is right down this road. Let's find out. Big map. I can get there down this road. It would have been faster to go up the other way, I think, but I'm already down here now, so around the long way we go at a blazing 17 miles an hour. Don't blink, folks. You might miss the trip over to field 60. You blinked, didn't you? Just admit it. It's fine. All right. I don't know. I'm in a mood today, apparently. Oh, we almost hit that sign. We're going to drop this header trailer off right here, and I'm gonna get stuck in the trees. We're gonna try and hook this up without driving over these crops too much. Is this even canola or is this wheat now that we're gonna be hitting? I think that's a different crop. Let's find out after we get the header hooked up here. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and just back this guy up and lower my header down here, and it is wheat. Oh, well, there you go. We're not gonna be taking that canola up to the elevator to complete our contract. I'm gonna let the worker do its thing here, and we are gonna save this grain though, so let's jump into our menu And let me see if I can create a job to deliver this to. Can I deliver it home? Do I have a silo? Yes. Does it show me what I'm selecting on the map? It does. Okay, so I'm going to deliver it to a silo, and then I'm going to set up a loading position right over here. And we're going to say looping, even though we're not really going to let this guy loop. We're going to stop him when he gets to the field again and take that off to the contract. But in the short term, this will get him back up to the farm to drop off that canola, and we won't have to monkey with it, which is, yeah, usually a bonus. As long as he doesn't get stuck, it's a bonus. However, let's take this opportunity to check in on all of our workers now. We're doing great on our wheat harvest as expected. And if we just jump over here, it looks like we're almost done with the up-down rows on our grass field. Awesome. Now, I still haven't decided if we're going to just do the one big field of grass or if I should just put grass in the rest of these. I think we're going to overdo it. I think we're going to put grass in the two small fields up on the top here as well, and just double down on grass across the board. And if we've got a ton of extra bales after we get through our winter season, we will readjust to a different crop in the spring. But I'd rather do some overkill on the grass starting off. We probably talked about this last episode. That's the problem with taking a small break for a few days in between episodes, is I forget what the plan is, so we have to come up with a new plan. Hopefully, though, my thinking is consistent between episodes here, and we've got the same plan. All right, we're blazing through town here at 22 miles an hour. I thought this thing goes 24. I wonder why we're slightly under speed here. Probably just making sure that there wasn't a train coming. Oh, and we've got a car trying to pass us, but we didn't let him in. We just kept going to the yield sign here. I guess even my workers have been going to the Ketterick School of Driving lately. I approve. I think we're good here. We're up at the farm here. It looks like our driver is, well, I was about to say having no problems whatsoever. However, now that it's up here, I'm curious to see if it can make the turn and pull into the bins. It looks like it wants to go in from the one side. That's fine. You know what? I respect that. And we're going to go ahead and unload. The question I have is, will we make it back to the field before the combine gets full? I haven't checked in on that in a little while. We're still doing the headlands. 56%. You know what? We might actually make it back in time. If we look at the map, we were up here. I think we took the long way around to get to the farm. We should be able to zip back around here and down to field 60 pretty easily. It's actually a straight shot. I think we might just get back in time to unload this combine, especially because it's still doing the headlands, which requires a little bit of backing up and turning and all the shenanigans that come with opening up a field, which slow it down just a bit. So I'm feeling pretty good here about our efficiency. And if we just jump in here, it looks like we may now officially be on headland passes with the drill here. I think that's why we're overlapping so much, is that, yeah, he's taken the headland pass around. Looks like he's gonna lift up a little bit as he does areas that he's completely overlapping. But yeah, this is looking good. And I can't wait for modded maps to come out with a much better terrain angle, or multi-terrain angle, I think is what we used to call it. I don't like the base game limit on how many angles there are. It always just looks so weird to me to have a tractor driving in one direction and have the lines it's leaving behind kind of angled off in the other direction. Well, we'll have to suffer through. I've seen a lot of really encouraging posts on social media where the modders are already diving in and getting a bunch of equipment and stuff sorted out. Everything from tire options to full-on mods. There's a handful of additional mods on the in-game mod hub now. However, it's been a real struggle because the new Giants editor has not been released yet, at least not as of today that I've seen, and it's November 19th when I'm recording this. So hopefully we see some patches soon. I'm really tired of all the flickering that we've got when we're playing here. That's the biggest thing that needs to get patched. And then Giants Editor needs to get released. I can't wait to see what the modders are going to be able to do with FS25 here. However, it looks like we're making good progress on this field. I'm going to let him keep going here, and we're going to jump on over to our tractor driver here. I'm going to take over from the worker and see if we can blitz down the length of this field and find our combine. Hopefully, he's going to knock out the last of this headland, and I can unload him here. He's already over 80% full. He's got his beacons on, which means we need to get him unloaded. Unfortunately, he's chosen to open up this field with this pipe on the inside. That is one small thing I wish they would do with the worker for harvesting, is make sure that they always go around the outside of the field with the pipe out so that we can more easily unload them. That might be because of how I pulled into the field though, so maybe that's my fault, and we do actually have some control over that. But now's a great time to just stop the worker and get him unloaded as long as we're here on the end. The nice thing with some of this smaller equipment is it really doesn't take that long to get him unloaded, so we might as well just do it at a standstill at the end of the field here. Get our combine moving again on the headlands, and we'll be good to go. Grain wagon is gonna get full pretty fast here. Oh, we've got 4% more we could put into it, so what we'll do is just start this combine back off on the headland passes here, let him figure out what he wants to do on his own. And then when he gets up to the end here, I can grab a little bit more out of him to top this guy off. Yeah, because the place that we need to deliver this to is actually way, way far away down in the other corner here. This is the Grain Barge Terminal 2 is apparently the name of our delivery point. So what I'd like to do while we're waiting for this combine to figure everything out is we're going to grab this tractor, we're going to create a job, and we're going to find it was Grain Barge Terminal 2. We're going to put a loading position back on the map in the corner there where it was before I clicked on it, and we're going to start job just to get it synced in here. Looks like I do have a worker, and instead of going right now, I'm going to stop that worker manually. We're going to run down to the end of the field. I want that last 4% of our hopper filled up. If we have to drive across the map, I know I've already got the grain, and he's about to turn around. Actually, he's probably about to do the headland pass here, isn't he? All right, we'll get this topped off real quick and send that worker off. All right, we've got the grain. Off we go. Let me see. I'm going to put him right out on the road here. Let me look at this map. Hang on. Where am I going even? You know what? This is actually a great place to start things off. So off we go. I'll be curious to see how long it takes him to make the loop here, but either way, it's a full load. We'll get him going, and let's get hit by a bunch of chaff, jump into the combine. We're already 27%. I think the combine is going to end up full and waiting before that tractor gets back. It looks like we're taking a half a row here, or 2/3 of a row, just to get onto the up-down rows. This is a very course play-esque right now. That's all right. We'll let him go and take the opportunity to check in on our grass field. We're getting close, folks. We've got this pass and one more on the headlands. I like it. We will have our grass field planted in no time. Well, I can confirm officially that the combine did get full before we made it back up here. However, the driver managed to make the entire trip unaided there and back from the depot, the barge drop-off location there. So that's encouraging. We're going to get this wheat unloaded here real quick and keep this contract moving, but I believe our grass planting is also wrapped up here while we were waiting for this worker to make the round trip. So we got lots of jobs to kick off here all of a sudden, so I'm trying to keep everything moving here. However, getting this wheat dropped off is the most important part for us. We want to make sure that we can knock out all these contracts in a timely manner, especially since we are limited on time with these contracts. So I'm going to just start the combine right back off here, let the worker square up exactly how he likes. And this guy is 100% full. Awesome. I like it. Let's start this worker off. Whoops, it's saving the game. We should just be able to hit start job and it'll figure everything out on its own. Good deal. And we got the combine off to the races. So here we are. Time. Whoops, don't disconnect the drill in the middle of the field. We need that in the next field. It's time to jump back across the road here and see if we can't get some grass planted in the next field. And it always helps when we don't take out the signs. Here we go. Start the worker off. This is a nice small field. We're going to end up spending more time doing the headlands and planting the up-down rows, I feel like. That's all right. We've got the worker going here again. Since we've been doing the same job day in and day out here, it feels like on these same couple of fields, I'm going to just skip ahead here until we get done with the next job. One thing that I'm just realizing we forgot to do, let's go in here to our contract list. We can complete this contract for $6,600. There we go. Look at that. We're up to $58,000. We are ticking down on the money, though. I think that's our worker fees. I'm not purchasing anything. Let me see here. Game settings, worker settings. We're not buying fuel or seeds or fertilizer. Yeah, we're not buying anything here. So that's just their hourly cost to us. And we do have 3 of them driving around. So I'm not super surprised that we're burning through the cash. But it's starting to add up. That's pretty disappointing to my whole wallet, my bank account, to watch that stuff going down so fast. But we are, in the grand scheme of things, making some money doing it. Maybe we'll have to take somebody off of automatic and do a little bit of work ourselves here. The harvester is going to town. I think the area that we're going to be able to make the most impact is if I were to take over our planting here. So I'm going to let him get pointed on the right direction. And then we're going to jump into this menu. We're going to go to steering assist, say OK. And then I can activate my lane, turn this all on, and we're taking over. That's right, folks. We're going to do some work ourselves, not just manage the farm. You got to get your hands dirty every once in a while. So here we go. Let's get this grass drilled in, and this will take no time at all, hopefully. We'll see how good I am at whipping around here We'll find out. I have no idea how many rows I just skipped, but that felt appropriate. Oh, we were one off. I wanted to just skip one row and not two. We'll fix it. We're going to jump back in to my left here next time. We were at a funny camera angle. I can't be held accountable for that turn. We'll get it the second time. And as I'm saying that, I've already got the third time's a charm excuse getting ready in my head in case this doesn't work. So let's see if I have to use it or not. Here we go. And there's my line. We had to slow down a little bit there. We didn't get perfectly lined up. It's all good. We got it. It's working. We're obviously doing better than the hired help, right? Right? We'll see. Either way, I'm going to bust this out, and we'll check in here in just a minute. It looks like our AI worker grain tank just got full, and popping open the map, tractor's on its way back, but still a little ways away, so yeah, not exactly keeping up with it, but that's all right. We're making progress, and that's all that matters. And I have found that turning off 2 lanes away is been the most efficient for me with the little drill that we've got here. So I've been kind of doing that. And what I'll do is I skip 2, and then I'll make the hassle to turn back into that 1 lane. But then I'll be able to do 2 on the next 2 passes here. I'm not sure I'm making any sense here. What we're going to do, I'll show you what we've been doing. We're going to lift up. I'm going to give myself a little bit of an extra turn there. We'll get back in on this lane, which is only skipping 1 line, but then the next 2 passes here, this next pass, I'll skip 2 over to the opposite side of that lane over there, and it'll be pretty good. And then I'll skip 1 back into this gap that we are leaving in between the lines. I don't know why. This is just how I've been doing it, where it's one of those, I skip 1 lane, and then I skip 2 lanes, and then I skip 1 lane, and I don't know. We're just trying to be inconsistent for the fun of it, I guess. However, we are about done with the up-down rows on this. We're technically now working on headland passes, but I'm just doing them in the up-down mentality here because I think that's what makes the most sense for me. And then we'll knock off the end rows once we get all done with this. And I suppose I have some up-down rows on the far end over there. Although this field is practically a square, not quite a square, where it doesn't really matter which way I consider the up-down rows, I suppose. But, you know, for consistency's sake, we're trying to use the right terminology here. Oh, we didn't get lined up very good for that pass. And luckily, it doesn't matter. Looks like we had plenty of overlap here. Since this is the transition between the up-down rows and the headland passes right here, this row has almost 50% overlap. That's all right. What I do need to do, though, since I forgot that our combine is full, is we need to go empty that guy out if we're going to finish this harvesting contract. So let me just park this guy over here real quick. And we're going to hop in here and drive this guy over to the combine, get the combine moving again, get the grain being delivered up to the elevator again. Although I want to learn from my mistake last time and not actually deliver the grain until we have completely harvested this whole field. So maybe what we'll do is hit pause here for a minute and let the combine make some progress here so that it can finish all of this harvesting before our tractor gets over there to dump the grain. That way we'll maximize our profits, because I think as long as I haven't delivered the grain, the contract will stay active and we'll be able to finish doing all of the harvesting even if we don't need to. I like this idea, so we're not going to send this guy on his way just yet. I'm going to drive him up here to the other end of the field so that when I'm ready to send him on the way, he's right by the road and ready to go. There we go. Looking good. And yeah, we're going to get some nice grain off of this field in excess, I think. But let's get back to our drill here. We've got just a couple more passes to go to get this grass moving. And as you can see, our dollar amounts in the upper right hand corner not ticking by quite as fast with one less worker going. So this is probably worth the effort, especially because we didn't have anything else going on at the moment. I definitely don't mind doing a few jobs myself. All right, let me think about this. We're gonna turn to the right because I already started turning to the right, and we'll go grab the up-down rows that are part of our headlands. There we are. And off we go. We'll get this part wrapped up here, and then we'll do the end rows. All right, this is the last of the up-down rows on this end of the field. I think I left one row on the other end there. That's fine, though, because what we're going to do is do the end rows down here, and then I can take that long row down to the other end for the end rows on the other side of the field. This should work out perfectly. Contract is 90% complete now. I should probably set that driver off to take that grain up to the elevator here at some point as well. But what we're going to do instead is finish our end row here. At least get backed into this corner. My goodness, the trees are real here. There we go. Lower you down. Start off on my rows, and off we go. All right, we'll take this down to the end row, and then I will go start that grain cart off on driving back up to the unloading point there. I'm digging this field. We need to get a plow at some point, though, and connect these three fields after this harvest season. If I hadn't already planted that canola, we would have done it now in the fall. I just can't bring myself to dig up a bunch of crops that we already planted. So that was my mistake, my biggest regret in this series so far. But it is what it is. And I said I was going to go and unload that wagon here. It looks like AI worker H just finished harvesting that field, though. So now I can deliver that grain with confidence. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to get turned around. There we are. And back it up. Oh, backed up too tight. Drop it down. Start it off. Here we go. All right, hang on. Let's do it before I forget. Push H to start. And start job. Deliver to the unloading point. And this guy's actually got a good chunk of wheat left in the hopper here. We also need to take this guy up and do some maintenance. The maintenance level on this tractor is, or this combine is dropped down significantly, knocking all these contracts out. Unfortunately, I don't think we've got anywhere on the farm to repair these guys. We'll have to take a quick look around, but I think we might have to take them up to the dealership to do the repairs, which isn't a huge deal because it's on the way back home, or on the way, close enough to on the way. We'll find out, though, in a minute here. I'm going to drop that header onto the trailer, and then we're going to get all hooked up here and send this guy back somewhere. Let's look at the farm before we send him anywhere. We'll leave him parked right there for a moment. And here's the farm. If we have a repair point, I would have expected it to be this shed here. Nothing. I don't see anything. I wish I knew what this zone was for. I feel like this is supposed to be a chicken coop, but there's no zone to do anything with that as a chicken coop. And I'm just looking. Is there a repair point anywhere on this farm? I don't think there is, folks. We're going to check this barn, but that would not make any sense to me. Let's check the far side of the barn. Nothing. Nothing. We'll check in these doors just to make sure this isn't a workshop of some kind. No dice. All right, we have no workshop. That means that we need to send this guy up to town. I'm hoping that the vehicle shop will have a repair point. I see the sell point. Oh, there it is right over there. That's a wrench. That's where we're gonna be able to get stuff fixed. All right, let me see if I can sort this out. That's another place where we could buy stuff. This was the vehicle shop though. I think it was right here, this building. So what I'm gonna do is click on this, set destination, and we will just set it to drive me into this lot. All right, hopefully he figures this out. I can't transport him using a worker because I have grain in the tank. That is unfortunate. All right, well, in that case, we're gonna just put our pipe out and eventually our driver will be back with the wagon. Let's continue to finish off this field real quick. We've finished up the headland, so it's time, to see about getting down to the other end of the field here. I think that's all planted. It's kind of hard to tell because we've done such a weird job with it, and the planting texture is so close to the tillage texture depending on which angle you look at things. But I suppose if we've missed a little spot, we'll just deal with that when the time comes. And we're only 89% transported. I thought we were going to finish that contract. I guess not. Well, that's all right. It's a good thing we're running back out to the field with that tractor then, I suppose. And I'm going to just take this whole corner off. There we go. Looking good with this wheat. Let's see, where is my headland pass? Right there. We'll get this all knocked out. Do a little bit of overlap. It's fine. It doesn't look like we're using up any seed when we're planting over the areas we've already planted with grass. Not until we get into this section where I think we're going to use anything up. Or maybe we're just using it slow enough. Yep, there we go. 1 liter of seed. Not really burning through it so fast here. We've planted a bunch of fields and not had to refill, which is actually really good for us. I always hate when we run out of product, especially as we're getting close to the end. This gives me confidence we're going to be able to knock out that last field with grass as well before we need to do any refilling. In fact, we probably could get all the way into the next planting cycle before we need to refill, since we've done all 4 of our fields with what we've got access to, and it looks like we won't even get to 50%, or maybe we'll get right to 50%. Either way, we've made great progress here. I think what we're gonna do is finish the headland off on this field, since we've only got 1 more pass, and we'll set the worker back up on the next field over, and then we'll go finish off this harvesting contract real quick. I'm curious if the GPS is actually going to do a turn. Ooh, it is. I thought that would have been like a worker only thing. Oh, we took out the sign. My bad. We'll just put that over there in the ditch. No evidence. But I was surprised that it even started to take the corner. I was expecting it to finish taking the corner, since that's where the course went, but not so much. So I guess I'm only half impressed. Either way, this is the end of field 3. So we'll go ahead and just send this guy down here to field 5. Get the worker going on this. Just making sure this field is not planted. All right, there we are. And we're gonna go to the AI worker settings and just let him do his thing. Awesome, looking good, and we're right in time to take over for the tractor driver here and get this combine emptied out. Now, the question is, did I leave the combine running, or am I going to have to hop in there to unload him? I did leave it running. Convenience for me. Now, I probably should do what I did, what I planned on doing with the canola, which is unloading that into our bins with any excess, because this is a lot of wheat here. But I think I'm going to start the worker off on driving, and if we happen to catch him, we catch him. If we don't, we don't. Let's do this. We're going to fold this back up, and I think I've got the driver set up on a go-to. Let's start this job and see if he can manage to get here. Yep, he's still all set up here, and he's blocked by an object. I think he's blocked by himself. The header trailer seems to be a problem for the combine workers. It's really unfortunate that I can't seem to figure this out more often than not. All right, we're gonna do the driving ourselves, folks. The one thing that we want to be able to do, which is let the workers drive across the map without us having to babysit them, and that's the one thing that this guy just isn't capable of handling. It is what it is. We're gonna go across the tracks onto the main road, and then down the first main road to our right. I'm kind of following through the map here. I guess nope, I don't have a mouse. I can't even point to what I'm looking at. That's all right. Let's get down here onto the main road, and we'll figure it out. I should be able to get this guy to the shop to repair him before our tractor gets all the way down to the sell point. That's the goal. If I can do that, that would be great. If I can't, we'll probably miss putting some of that wheat into our bins. Now, we had wheat ourselves that I believe is in the bin right now. So I'm just trying to think about, if it's worth it to store the excess, or if it's going to be like a half a cart, and we don't want to have to haul a half a cart up to the elevator because it's not worth our time. I think we've got wheat in the bins, though. We'll look in just a moment here. This looks to be the repair area, so let's go ahead and just drive this in here, shut her down, and hire a mechanic. All right, I'm not repainting stuff. Wow, repair bill is high. But we're gonna go ahead and do the repairs. $5,000. Oh my goodness. The repair bill alone is killing a whole contract. But we got an achievement, which is kind of cool. This guy's gonna need a major repair as well at some point. Let's see here. We've got a little ways to drive. I'm trying to think about where we're headed with this. Oh, that's right, down into the boonies by the water there. That's not too bad. We'll get there in just a moment. While we're doing that, though, I wanted to verify. We've got almost 7,500 liters of canola. And how much wheat did we have? We have 12,000 some odd liters of wheat. And this thing only holds, I think, 8,000. So this will be good. We will have wheat to spare. This driver does not like bridges very well. We're going to take over and see if I can get down here a little bit faster. And hopefully this will let me remember that we're trying to not dump all of our wheat into the elevator here. All right, this is that curvy, windy path down. And I'm gonna jump across here. I think this is the only dump point. I'm pretty sure I'm going in the exit though. Let's see what happens here. There we go, contract finished. I stopped it. We only sold a couple of liters there. And yeah, I've got over half of a trailer of wheat left. Well, good deal. Let's hop in here to the menu, and I'm going to create a job to deliver this to my silo. And then the loading position for that is then going to be just kind of right out here in the middle of nowhere so that he doesn't leave the farm. And there we go. Ooh, the worker almost hit that sign, but he managed to avoid it. Impressive. Now I need to take this guy back up to the farm. Can't use a driver because we've got a header trailer on here. So off we go. We've made this drive a number of times. Although before we do that, let's just come in and complete this contract. And I'm going to jump back over and make sure, we have one more harvesting contract here. This is field 28. Where is field 28 in the broader scheme of things? Field 28 is up north of us. Looks like it's another canola contract. Do we want to do this contract? I suppose we can do it. We might as well just keep knocking these out since we do have a little bit of grass left to go. I will run this guy up to field 28. And here we are. What a tiny little field. I'm going to go ahead and just drop our header trailer off right alongside here. Hopefully that doesn't cause the traffic to back up next to the field here. That would be unfortunate. And we're going to get ourselves all hooked up here and just drop in here with a worker. We'll probably handle this little field here off camera. There's not a whole lot left going on here on the farm. We're just waiting for our grass field to finish getting planted, which is almost done. We're delivering contracts, which actually it looks like we finished delivering that contract with the wheat. I forgot already, and we were just turning it in. Let's see, I don't have any other existing contracts. Yep, that's right. So this guy's gonna do his thing, and even though I had pointed him to the left, I was hoping he'd go down that way and keep his pipe on the outside. Not so much. So we'll let the worker do the worker things, and we'll let the worker finish up our grass field here. He is on the headlands. This guy, he needs to drive himself over to this new field so that we can unload the combine. So we're gonna just, find that driver, do a set destination on field 28, and we'll be off. This worker should be able to figure that out, no problems. And I think, this is a great place to wrap things up. We're going to just finish up this little contract. We'll finish up our last little bits of planting grass, and then we'll finally be ready to move the time forward. I can't wait to get into something other than doing the same thing that we've been doing in the last couple episodes here. We'll be diving into our mowing and baling and all of that fun stuff next episode. If you enjoyed the episode, hit that thumbs up button. Helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Kedrick out.